Yo, what up guys, alright Goals with Energy, this is day 19 of 2020. Today's topic is going to be about the sun and our solar plexus, which is right here. It is one of our chakras, and that chakra is the willpower. So today's preach, I just got this channel, this download, that I should talk about this because it was like this urge from my higher. I feel like I actually got this yesterday, but I had the urge to drop it today because yesterday I wanted to focus on the dark shadow because it was just more relevant because I was feeling the last day of it. Today I felt great, I had a great day. And yeah, so with that said, let's jump on this preach and just preach it out. And then I will just cover all the points that we need to elab and just focus on and just kind of hone into. Okay, let's get to it. Okay, today I want to talk about the sun and how it is directly correlated and runs parallel to our solar plexus, which is right here, and the willpower that we experience as humans. Even though the weather no longer has any effect on my energy due to my high frequency state, and it doesn't anymore, it used to when it was super gloomy or overcasty. I would feel down because I'm in love with the sun. Sun is the most powerful energy for me, at least. And now it's not so much. Now I feel like if I'm in my own, I have my own conditions. So if I'm in my really high state, even if it's pouring and it's tornado, and like nothing can impact me because I just literally have like my eyes are shut no matter what the weather is around me, the conditions, the cold. Like this garage is super cold, this studio, but I don't really feel it. I'm wearing a lot of layers, but I'm not feeling it. When it's sunny outside, today it was gloomy the whole day and I didn't feel it. I was like, it's great, it's fine. It literally didn't impact me because I was on a really high flow the whole day. But even though it doesn't have control over me because of my high frequency, because when you have high frequency, you actually override anything around you, and weather is also energy. So if you have a high frequency, the weather should not impact you. I know Casey Neistat says this, and he's like the godfather of YouTube. He says, when the sun is not there, he feels off. Like he doesn't feel in his best aligned self, you know, and I totally agree with him. But so even though it doesn't impact me the weather, but I still notice that when the sun is up, I have greater willpower because my solar plexus is more like on and active than when it's an overcast. Here I say I have a greater willpower to accomplish my daily goals when the sun is up than when the sun is hidden behind the clouds when we have overcast. Literally, that's the truth. Like, I do know that it doesn't impact me, but even though mentally, psychologically it doesn't impact me because I'm really living for my higher being, but physically I feel like my body and the air is very thick when it's gloomy. It's not very, usually like the air quality is bad when it's just like all gloomy and just cloudy and the sun is there and it's like humidity. I can feel the air is like thick, you know? And so physically, like it gets me, like physiologically it gets me. Okay, the direct correlation is scientifically and physiologically proven with the simple fact that when we don't have sun, we have no vitamin D and direct energy, which impacts our motivation and willpower to be ambitious and productive. And that's really the truth. That has been proven that when there's no vitamin D and there is no direct energy from the sun, it's almost like we are like unplugged from our higher being, because our higher being, I believe our higher being operates with the sun. It's almost like its antenna. That's my understanding. Even though as much as we cannot allow the weather to impact us and just be ourselves and be our true selves, but regardless of how strong we are, sun still does play a role. Even if we don't agree to it and we try to believe otherwise, it still has an impact on us in some way or form. We may not even feel it, but it does. Okay. The ugly truth behind Chem Trails is very much intended to block out the sun from giving us vitamin D, motivation, and willpower to be our true selves and happy. And that's really like super true, and it's a really ugly, dark fact. The Chem Trails, it actually was channeled to me while I was wearing this. I didn't even have this in my context. And so what's happening is the chemtrails are actually blocking the sun because the government knows, the shadow government knows that the sun is actually evolving us. It's like making us, it's updating our DNAs every single second that we're under the sun. And it's almost like it's giving us like a solar power, you know? So they know if they block out the sun or they put chemtrails, we won't get all the good rays and we'll kind of get the filtered rays, the very minimal. So therefore we will not have the willpower, the motivation, the bliss to actually be happy. And when we're not happy, people, the dark people, the people that are like literally living off of our misery, our pain, they'll be happy because they will get all the fuel that we need, which is depression, madness, people being angry, just frustration. Those things really help them. So if they are blocking the sun, then they're getting what they want because they're getting fuel to the dark side, where they will prosper more, because the dark energy needs below energy to survive. And by blocking out the sun and killing motivation and willpower, people will be like slaves and continue enslaving themselves and allow themselves to be controlled by the dark government, by the society, by Earth, by the prison planet. And they'll never ever chase their passion because there's no motivation and sun is not there. That's the reason why many countries, it's a proven fact, the countries that have less seasons of sun, they are not as happy. Like think of like San Francisco. Someone just was here. The energy in San Francisco is very low because there's never sun. It is always overcast, and people are all about the money. And the reason why, because they have so much control in there, because there's no sun, there's no motivation. So the motivation is only money, it's only greed. So because there's no actual spirituality elements in the space, in the aura, there's an emanation of like sun, high vibes, will just feel meditative. Like I'm sure there's people there that are super spiritual, but overall the sun not being there, that part of thing, it kind of has lost their soul to greed and being innovative and being AI, like super high technology, Silicon Valley, you know. I love Silicon Valley, but I'm just saying facts about the environment, how the people think and feel and act and live, you know. And I have some people here, they work in the tech world, the actual center. They're like, yeah, the place it's like diabolic energy, super low. Even though people are all about like, hey, we're innovating the world, but it's all about the money. It's all about, hey, am I better than you are? Are you better than I am? It's all about separation at the end. And that's literally what it is. Wow, we have 2 minutes left to hit the 10 minutes mark. So we gotta wrap this up. But yeah, that is the reason why I know that sun is really a big factor in our life. Okay, moreover, sun rays are not as dangerous as they are portrayed to be, as long as you don't sleep under it, meaning you don't just let it there forever, just let it just burn you without sun lotion. Since anything excessive is bad regardless of its source or origin, and that's very true. Even water, if you drink million gallons of water, it's actually bad for you. You can actually die from it. They are in fact ascension rays that are there to upgrade our DNA and massage our psyche for us to be awakened in a faster pace, and that is the reason why the shadow government is blocking them out with private charter planes to stop evolution and massive spiritual awakening, so people are not conscious and live with lower vibratory levels to push the ascension from happening in the near future. And that's like literally what I was just saying. The government is very aware how the sun is literally helping people out by evolving them, making them happy, to follow their passion, to be motivated, because when you're motivated, your vibes are up, so therefore you get more guidance, you get more downloads, you get more ideas, you get more kind of this drive, ambition to just push forward. So they're doing everything that they can to actually keep us in a low vibratory levels and states, so we can actually just be their kind of farm animals for life. The whole point is to literally, and the whole point of doing so is to keep ascension from happening, because if they actually block out the sun and filter the sun from coming in, then they can easily block out the ascension, because the ascension will only come, it's up to us for ascension. And ascension is when we actually evolve as masses, like in real time to a higher density in the same lifetime. We don't have to die to get there, you know. It's the first time in the history of the cosmos that they're actually Earth is doing this, and it's really powerful because it has never been done before. That's the reason why we have like 7.5 billion people here, almost the 8 billion, because now everybody wants to like ascend in this historic time that we are living in, which is like a total blessing within itself. Okay, lastly, as much as we are told it's for climate change control, but that's just a false pretense and a good logical brain's washy for one to make believe that they are looking out for our best interests, when in reality they are only looking after theirs to sustain their positions and power over us as we run around like farm animals trapped in cubicles we call way of life. Say Baby, much love, Ari. And that's literally what it is. They are making us feel like they're doing us a favor by doing the Chem Trails, because they're like, oh, there's a climate change, have you seen the weather? There's earthquakes that are happening, like volcanoes, like hurricanes, tsunamis, people dying, etc. Like the fire in Australia. Like all this natural events are happening. My point is, everything is happening, and it's all signs of ascension. But unless as masses, unless like a big majority of the masses in the world are consciously aware and vibrationally ready, then the ascension will never come here, because ascension is going to happen when we're all like as one consciousness actually ready. But if they keep blocking the sun out like that, even for the whole America, which is like I don't know, I think it's like 300 million people now, that's really bad. And there's many countries that they're blocking it out too. Like it's not just here, but here we have like the most focus, because I guess we have a lot of power here. But my point is that the whole point is to like make sure that ascension doesn't actually happen, and they'll do everything in their favor under the false pretense that they're doing us a favor because the climate change is coming, and they're trying to make sure that we don't die, because the climate change will cause volcanoes, like the whole kind of like the Noah's Ark, that happened back in the floods. They're making it seem like they're like literally doing everything they can because we're like running out of time, when at the same time they're actually blocking us from evolving and not allowing us to actually ascend with our perfect timing and time and pace that we're actually heading towards. Instead they're slowing the process down by blocking the sun, which is the main energy. It's like almost like blocking. It's like having no like lights, no electricity. How can we cook? They're literally doing that on a cosmic level, just so we will not be ready for ascension. So we'll be delayed while they're planning on doing more evil and maybe like trying. Pretty much they're like buying time. So if we are aware as group, as oneness, as masses, like on social media or anywhere, however we connect, then we can actually be aware of this, and we can all think of chemtrails not even being there, and therefore the chemtrails will actually like just vanish. Because if we consciously and collectively think that chemtrails no longer belong to us and sun is going to be up all day long, then in some way or form the realities will change, where those chemtrails will not work out anymore. Something will happen that the chemtrail will be banned, or something catastrophic will happen, and the chemtrails will literally not exist. They'll just kind of vanish out. Something weird will happen. It's only because if we don't see it happening, it will not happen. That's how crazy and powerful our minds are. And that's about it, guys. Thanks for the watch. Thanks for the love. If you enjoyed this video, I'm going to make more videos like this soon, because I just feel like this is more esoteric, this is more cooler. It's less about like the daylight, it's more about ascension. I feel like esoteric is the way to go, because as people are waking up, people need to talk about more of the future coming, which is the now, but the things coming up in the near future. So if we are aware of that, that is more important than how to find a job. Because when ascension happens, you don't need to actually be like a work slave. You can just do what you love and still be happy. That's the reason why I think it's more important to preach on this kind of topics than preach on how to find a job. Even though I have a podcast coming up, it's going to be called Big Vision, and that's going to be more about like how to be successful and also spiritual, kind of like Gary Vee always says. Okay, that's about it, guys. Thanks for the watch, thanks for the love, and like always, much love, peace, and namaste. Stay vibey.